Hey up everyone, and welcome back to the barn. This is another episode of Write Good Poetry. It's been a while, apologies for that, but life happens. But yes, I'm back. I am back. It is like one of the hottest days ever, but in typical Sophie fashion, I do have a cup of tea, which I'm very happy about. Can never have too much tea in my opinion. Today we're going to be looking at a poem from this book. So this is Helen Mort's latest book, The Illustrated Woman, which, yes, is a play on the novel The Illustrated Man. Before I talk a little bit more about the poem that we're going to be looking at, just, a quick reminder. I think a lot of people are scared to analyse poetry and get involved with poetry because they feel that they could be wrong, or they might not say the right thing, or they don't know enough of the terminology. There's no right or wrong way to analyse poetry, to read poetry. In my opinion, the writer starts a conversation and the reader finishes it. So whatever you interpret, it can't be wrong because it's your interpretation, and never feel like you need to know certain terms or jargon to read poetry. Just get involved and read it. It's important, I think, that I say that I have no writing degree. I have no masters in creative writing or poetry or anything like that, and I do this as a job. So there you go, and anyone, trust me, and if I can do it, anyone can analyse and look at poetry. So never feel intimidated. The writer might have an intention for the poem, but once they put it out there in the world, there's not a wrong way to interpret it. It's not wrong to interpret something or look at something differently. So never feel like you've got to do something a certain way. Anyway, slight side note, moving back to Helen. So I have been a big fan of Helen's work for a very, very long time. This is her third collection of poetry, but she's also written non-fiction and she also writes prose. So busy writer woman. And like me, she's a big fan of the outdoors and really interested in nature, the Peak District, so we get on very, very well. I don't want to gush because I really like Helen's work, so I'll just read the bio on the back of the book. Helen Mort was born in Sheffield in 1985. Her first collection, Division Street, was shortlisted for the T.S. Eliot Prize and Costa Poetry Award and won the Fenter Alderberg First Collection Prize. Sorry if I said that wrong. In 2014, she was named as Next Generation Poet. No map could show them. Her second collection was a Poetry Book Society recommendation. Cool. So, the poem that I'm going to read you from this is a poem called On Permanence. When we group a bunch of poems together, so like if they have, I don't know, they might follow a certain story or have a certain order, it's known as a sequence, and it can be, I don't know, as many or as little poems as you want, I guess. That's your terminology learning for the day. So inside this book there is a sequence called The Illustrated Woman. Haha, I found it. This is taken from that sequence and it's called On Permanence. My friend says tattoos hide the natural beauty of the naked form. We are swimming at the mill pond. He steps into cold water and his skin dissolves. My friend has seen me naked 3 times. We do not speak of it, whether he found me beautiful in the morning. Pure skin, he says, pure design. Around him the water is gorgeous with stirred up mud, silt hanging in slow clouds. On the bank I stare down at my legs. I love how the peonies on my right hip includes the petal of my deepest glassy scar. how the moles that might kill me are stamens on the flowers, how my cellulite gives texture to the sketched gritstone, and the swifts on my chest are the heart in clumsy motion. I do not think I long to be natural, pure like the floors of airports, like a blank expression, the aftermath of the avalanche that buried your body whole. Each night in the bath, my 2-year-old tries to colour me in with his pastel crayons, finishing Mummy's pictures. He can't leave a page untouched. Paints with his fists and feet, pencils the walls. In water, we are all works in progress, disturbing the surface of the green pond. It is always difficult to start. The stones unbalance me. I fall to my knees like a veteran, survivor of wars of my body's own making. Coloscopy, biopsy, sertraline, and stitched tears. Let me stay here for a moment. Let me kneel before the sky and let me be humble, untidy. Let me be decorated. I love that poem so much. So let's get into the analysing. The first thing that I would say about this poem, we'll start with the form. It is written in free verse, so it's just a big, lovely chunk of text on the page. What I really like about Helen's work in this book is that she's written about tattooed women throughout the ages. She's written about things like the tramp stamp, that the tattoo that was nicknamed that on your back, at the bottom of your back. And everything that she does is done with care. So everything's done delicately. She writes about things that some people might look down upon or might frown upon, and she does it with care and with love and with gratitude. And that's why I really like Helen's writing. She never punches down, and I think that's really important. There's loads of really interesting observations about how tattooed women are seen in this book, about what we're expected to be like and how we actually are, and I find that really interesting. In terms of this poem, I think that it's really about accepting your body as it is, because she's talking about tattoos and the tattoos that she's got, but she's also talking about things on her body that might be seen as imperfections or things that we'd like to change. For example, cellulite, moles, all these sort of things which people in, I don't know, general society might be like, oh, get rid of that, or you don't need that. And she celebrates them, and she celebrates them using her tattoos, and she doesn't shy away from that. Let me kneel before the sky and let me be humble, untidy, let me be decorated. So not only be decorated in her tattoos, I think, but for me, I read that line as being decorated in my scars, in parts of my past, in the body that I'm in now, and I think that's beautiful. I think the mention of the friend here, the role of the guy, is really interesting, because it almost, how I read it anyway, you might read it differently. I read it about the expectations that men put on us, or that we have on women's body as a society. The fact that he's telling her that he likes pure skin, pure design, basically meaning untattooed skin. That untattooed skin is pure and innocent and good, and tattooed skin is bad. And it just makes me think about the virgin woman, the innocent woman, the one that is seen by society as pure and untouched. And although having these tattoos and looking a certain way will make you not pure anymore, Whereas the truth is, we've all been through life, and we've all got our scars to bear, whether we can see them or not. That's what that part reminded me of. And the fact that Helen gets that and turns these ideas around and celebrates having these things, I think is really powerful and really beautiful. we had a discussion not that long ago about talking about how with tattoos, they're almost a way of decorating yourself and making yourself and having control over your own body, you know, deciding what you're going to look like, not letting anyone else make that decision for you. And I think that is very, very liberating in a way and wonderful. So that is a super, super quick whirlwind tour of On Permanence by Helen Mort. You can check out more of Helen's work online. Definitely grab a copy of this book. It is really good. And please remember, I am not an expert. I'm always learning. These are just my opinions. So if you have any other things that you thought about the poem or that you'd like to comment, please do. Please do. I'm always up for hearing stuff. And if there's anything you'd like me to talk about or analyse, then I'm super up for that as well. Just let me know. Cool. All right then, lovelies. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you real soon.